A nuclear threat, a subverter of democracy, and a state poised and ready to kill thousands of British citizens at any moment. That's all been said about Russia recently, and the accusations and negative portrayals keep coming. In the latest illustration of anti-Russian animosity in the West, The Economist magazine ran a story describing the country as the bad guys. And the sorts of images you're seeing are starting to appear on a daily basis, with Soviet symbols even making a comeback. Daniel Hawkins was joined earlier by a member of the UK House of Lords to discuss the current level of hostility and what is driving it.
I think that there's a deliberate aim to demonise Russia at the moment. It's as though they need to search around for an enemy. When I was much younger, it used to be godless communism. But now that Russia seems to have managed to build 3,000 churches, they just change the excuse.
Just very briefly on the media climate, I mean, Boris Johnson, the UK Foreign Secretary, he was quite hostile towards RT, towards this channel, and, you know, there is a bit of a negative media climate right now. I mean, how do you feel about politicians, yourself appearing on RT? Did you have to ask Boris Johnson, perhaps get his opinion on your appearance? Or, as you say, in your position, in your age, it's something you don't worry about?
I certainly didn't talk to anyone to get permission to come onto your programme. I decided to come onto your programme not because I agree with you, but because I want to improve relations between our two countries and between Western Europe and the Russian Federation and the CIS.
Just in terms of the latest example, I mean, there's been a Kremlin report released in America putting together targets for potential sanctions in the future. Some have said the list is almost been put together in a bit of a random fashion. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, lists are very the in thing to do now for Russia, aren't they? Lists of useful idiots. Are you not afraid of appearing on a list just for coming on the programme today?
Oh, I probably will appear on a list, but by the time you get into your middle 70s, you don't get too worried about being on lists, let me say. But the level of mistrust and suspicion is completely now out of hand. You know, there are a lot of problems between our two countries and indeed between the East and the West that need sorting out. But to my mind, and I said this recently in a speech in the Council of Europe, we need another Helsinki. We need to sit down and talk to each other and work a way out of the problems, not constantly be deepening them. That will do no one any good.